Imagine you're 17, convinced you're a literal psychopath because you've spent your childhood killing small animals just to feel a spark of something, anything. Now imagine you've finally graduated to your first human target, a loud-mouthed rebellious girl in your class. But instead of a murder, you end up on a cross-country crime spree with her, falling in love while the police close in. This isn't a typical teen romance, it's a dark, twisted journey into what happens when two broken souls collide. Our story begins with James. He's the kind of kid who once dipped his hand into boiling oil just to see if he could feel pain. He's cold, detached, and honestly a bit terrifying. He lives with his dad, Phil, a man who tries too hard with bad jokes, which only makes James despise him more. James is bored with squirrels and cats. He wants to know what it feels like to end a human life. Enter Alyssa. She's the human equivalent of a hand grenade, unpredictable, angry, and currently being ignored by her mom and creepy stepdad. She spots James sitting alone at school and decides he's the perfect brand of weird for her. For James, she's not a girlfriend, she's a project. A victim in waiting. They start hanging out, and Alyssa's chaos is infectious. They go to a diner where she picks a fight with a waitress just for the thrill of getting kicked out. James is fascinated. To him, she's chaos in human form. One night, they're on his roof, and Alyssa suggests they just leave. Run away from their suffocating lives. James agrees, but he's got a knife tucked away. He's thinking that this adventure is the perfect cover for her disappearance. He's waiting for the right moment to strike, but fate has other plans. After James literally punches his dad in the face and steals his car, they hit the open road. The freedom feels amazing at first. They're playing laser tag, skipping out on restaurant bills, and acting like the world belongs to them. But the cracks start to show. Alyssa idolizes her biological father, a man she hasn't seen in years, convinced he's some legendary rebel. Meanwhile, James is struggling. He tries to stay detached, but then they crash the car. It explodes in a massive fireball, leaving them stranded and hitchhiking. They get picked up by a guy who seems friendly but quickly reveals himself to be a total predator. When this guy corners James in a bathroom, James freezes. He's the psychopath, remember? He should be able to handle this. But he can't. It's Alyssa who barges in, fierce and protective, and saves him. This is the first big shift. James realizes he isn't the predator he thought he was. Later that night at a motel, he stands outside the bathroom door with his knife, ready to finally kill her while she cries inside. But hearing her sob breaks something in him. He puts the blade away. He starts to realize that he doesn't want to end her life, he wants to be part of it. But just as they start to find a rhythm, they break into a fancy empty house to play grown-up. They dance, they drink wine, and James even kisses her. It's sweet, right? Wrong. Because the owner of the house, a man named Clive, comes home. And Clive is a monster, a literal serial killer with tapes and photos of his victims. When Clive finds Alyssa in his bed and tries to attack her, James doesn't hesitate. He leaps from under the bed and stabs Clive in the neck. Blood everywhere. It's the moment James has been waiting for his whole life, his first kill. But instead of feeling powerful, he vomits. He realizes the truth, he's not a psychopath. He's just a traumatized kid who's been hurting himself to avoid feeling the weight of his past. Now, they aren't just runaways anymore. They're murderers. The tension between them hits a breaking point. Alyssa is terrified of the version of James she just saw, and James is spiraling into memories of his mother's suicide, a trauma he's been running from since he was a child. They burn their bloody clothes and head toward Alyssa's dad's place, but they're falling apart. Alyssa even ditches him at a cafe for a while, leaving James to realize that he isn't the one protecting her. She's the one protecting him. She's his anchor. When they eventually reunite at that same cafe, there's no more pretending. They hold hands in the silence, and for the first time, it's a safe silence. They finally reach the trailer of Alyssa's dad, Leslie. Alyssa thinks she's found her hero, but Leslie is a disaster. He's a drug dealer who sells weed to kids and treats Alyssa like an inconvenience. The man she built up in her head doesn't exist. James sees it immediately, but he stays quiet because he knows Alyssa needs to see it for herself. The turning point comes when a dying dog is left suffering in the road. James, the boy who used to kill animals for fun, can't bring himself to end its pain. He cries. He's finally human again. Alyssa is the one who has to step up and do the hard thing, and in that moment, her childhood illusions about her cool dad completely die. The police are closing in fast. Detectives Terry and Eunice have tracked them to the coast. Eunice wants to help them, seeing them as the victims of a terrible situation, but Terry is waiting for James to turn 18 so they can throw the book at him. It's a race against time. Inside the trailer, Leslie tries to betray them for reward money. He's on the phone with the cops while pretending to help them escape. When James catches him, the situation explodes. Alyssa stabs her father in the leg, not because she's a killer, but because the betrayal is too much to bear. Eunice bursts in, trying to talk them down. She tells James it's his birthday. He's 18 now. The world sees him as a man, but he's never felt more like a scared kid. In a final heartbreaking act of love, James realizes there's only one way to save Alyssa. He tells her to blame everything on him. He tells her to say he kidnapped her. He knocks her down with a rifle to make it look real, and then he runs. He runs across the sand, drawing all the police fire toward himself, giving Alyssa the chance to be seen as the victim instead of the accomplice. As he runs, he thinks about how he used to think he felt nothing. Now, he feels everything. He hears Alyssa screaming his name, a sound that cuts through the wind and the sirens. A single gunshot rings out, and the screen goes black. It's a story that starts with a boy wanting to kill a girl and ends with him giving his life to save her. It makes you wonder, if you were pushed to the edge by a world that didn't care about you, how far would you go for the only person who finally saw you? So, what do you think? Was James always a good person deep down, or did Alyssa change him? And do you think they ever had a chance at a normal life, or was this ending always inevitable? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into their chaotic world, make sure to like and subscribe for more storytelling recaps. Until next time. Thanks for watching.